Welcome back to the channel, my friends. Warhammer Man Studios. I'm Warhammer Man, and today we're going to be taking a look at everything Lion. This video is sponsored by CMO Games. More on that later. Alright, so the Lion has returned. We're going to take a look at his stats. We're going to take a look at how he's going to be available, and we're also going to take a look at the book and its limited availability. I'm going to give you guys my honest opinions. Let's go ahead and jump right in. Lion el Jonson's rules revealed. 10,000 years of rest haven't dulled his epic combat skills. If you're one of the few people who didn't hear the internet exploding over the momentous return of Lion el Jonson to the 41st millennia, then congratulations. You get to gaze over the glorious model for the first time. It's enough to warm the heart of even the dourest unforgiven. Despite a 10,000-year convalescence, the Lion is raring to get back to his favorite hobby, killing traitors. Any cobwebs he might have had from his slumber have been well and truly shaken off, if the stats of his datasheet are anything to go by. Alright, so here we have the first look at the stat block. Lion el Jonson, move 8, weapon skill ballistic skill 2, strength and toughness 6, wounds 9, attacks 10, leadership 11, 2+ save. While most of his characteristics mirror those of his brother Rebute Guilliman, the Lion's sword arm is a good bit quicker with his staggering 10 attacks. That would already be enough to put his noble sibling onto the back foot, but his massive sword fealty only enhances his capacity for mass butchery. So basically the exact same stats as Guilliman, except for 6 attacks on Guilliman normally and 10 on the Lion. Alright, and next we see his sword fealty. Each time an attack is made with this weapon, select one of the profiles below to make that attack with. So it is strength user, -3, damage 2. Each time an attack is made with this weapon profile, make 2 hit rolls instead of 1. So that's going to give him 20 attacks just with his base profile times 2 at strength 6, -3, 2 damage. Or he can use the strike attack, which would be his regular 10 attacks at strength 10, -5, 4 damage. So just right off the bat, 10 attacks. Let's just assume they all hit and all wound, which is very unlikely. But that is 40 damage from the strike of his sword fealty. And it's tough to compare the straight up like damage output to Guilliman's because he has a couple of special rules. He only has the 6 attacks, but he has the Emperor's Sword, which is +2 strength at base. So he's hitting at strength 8 with his regular one, -4, 3 damage. And then unmodified wound rolls of 6 do a D3 mortal wounds. And then for the Hand of Dominion, which is basically Guilliman's Power Fist, that would hit at double strength, so 12, -3 AP, and 4 damage. But even if that profile, the max damage Guilliman could do would be 24 from that profile. And about the same with the Emperor's Sword, assuming he rolled a bunch of 6s to wound. So the damage output on the Lion is substantially higher than Guilliman's current damage output. So very, very strong in melee. Safety in numbers is clearly not a concern the Lion cares for. When Guilliman's forte lies in matters of command and administration, a task he accomplishes with aplomb, Lion el Jonson was ever a warrior, hunter and killer, first and foremost. Now, awakening to the galaxy of darkness and insanity, he strides between the stars on a mission of vengeance. Long before his return reached the ears of the wider galaxy, the Lion's legend had begun to spread from planet to planet, disconnected worlds united by mysterious figures who stalked from his mist-wreathed passageways to cut down fearsome monsters like chaff. Some knew him as the Cowled Giant or the Unforgiving Knight, or even as the Emperor Incarnate, and his arrival was always heralded by an apparition of ancient forests fading from the aether. The true nature of his empiric travel is known only to the Primarch himself, but as he lay slumbering beneath the rock, his dreams often returned to the forests of his youth. Could he be born by the ghosts of the same arboreal realm, slain in the destruction of Caliban? He's certainly not telling, but the practical application of this ability to appear as if from nowhere aren't lost on him. So he had the Forest Walk ability. During deployment, you can set this model on Shadowed Paths instead of setting it up on the battlefield. That's such a great change for 10th edition. Just go back to calling everything Deep Strike. I'm so excited for that. If you do so, then during the reinforcement step of your own movement phase, you can set up this model anywhere on the battlefield that is more than 9 away from enemy models, and until the end of the turn, you can reroll charge rolls for this model. So that is pretty strong. Being able to drop him in where you need and then having reroll charges is pretty good. If you had the ability to give him +1 to charge with some of the various Space Marine abilities, that's going to make it really, really strong. As a rerollable 9-inch charge is still pretty rough, but a rerollable 8-inch charge is actually like attainable. What marks him out as a warrior of truly singular provenance isn't even his sword, but rather the Emperor's shield. The Ormite Aegis was once wielded by the Emperor himself, and aside from its indomitable protective powers, it reflects the force of incoming attacks right back at its foe with sonorous boom. The Emperor's Shield. It does look very, very cool. This model has a 4-up invulnerable save. So just for note, Lion has a 2-up and then a 4-up invulnerable. Guilliman has a 2-up and then a 3-up invulnerable. Each time a saving throw is made for this model against a melee attack, an unmodified roll of 6, the attacking model's unit suffers 1 mortal wound after all the models it had finished making their attacks, to a maximum of 3 mortal wounds per phase. So that is definitely a Sigmar ability. Another one of the great rules from Sigmar getting rolled into 40k. It's not going to be like crazy damage output, but it is nice when you do roll those 6s on your save. You get to return a little bit of damage to the attacking unit. Maximum of 3. That would mean you would have to roll 3 6s, which would mean you would have to be taking like 18 saving throws to do back 3 damage. So obviously if you get hit by a bunch of chaff, that's going to let you just kind of kill a couple of them back with this ability. But you definitely don't want to be counting on this. So it's not bad. He seems like he's pretty durable. We don't see all the rules off his data sheet. If he has damage reduced by 1 or damage cut in half or something like that, that's going to make him extremely durable. Obviously, Guilliman has +3 to your command points if you take him as your leader. He also has the ability to stand back up on a 4-up if he dies. So it's definitely not like a 1-to-1 comparison. We'll have to see all of the abilities that the Lion possesses, but it seems like a pretty good comparison overall. The less durability from the shield is kind of surprising, that Guilliman has a 3-up invulnerable save. But I do think that the 2-up, 3-up is very strong. But who knows now? At this point in time, there's lots of stuff that ignores invulnerable saves as well. So realistically, like a shrug is probably the best thing on top of that. One question that a lot of you have is how to get a hold of this incredible model. The Warhammer community interrogator chaplains have been able to extract an answer to that. The Lion will be available for the first time alongside a retinue of 3 Blade Guard veterans and 2 pieces of special edition artwork. One a duel with Angron and the other a heroic pose. If you don't manage to get him in this box, don't worry, he'll be out on his own soon enough, just like the foul Xenos commanders of the Orcs and Tau when they break out of their boarding patrol boxes. So, of course, Games Workshop going to go a little tongue-in-cheek on the fact that the Commander Farsight box sold out in seconds and the Orcs box was gone the next day as well. Games Workshop does seem to like to joke about this type of stuff, but honestly, as a customer, I know a lot of people like legitimately get perturbed by this or even like disenfranchised. Having money, wanting to spend it, and not being able to is definitely one of the most frustrating things in this hobby. All right, so this is the set that the Lion is going to be coming out in. So Guilliman himself is $70, so we'll assume the Lion is going to be right around there, maybe a couple of dollars extra because, well, Games Workshop. And we know that a Blade Guard squad, which is just a regular Blade Guard squad, I recognize the poses and everything, that is $60. So if we assume $70 plus $60, we're at $130. So is Games Workshop going to sell this for like $100, or are they going to be trying to charge us for those art prints in the back there? This seems like a strange setup right here. I'm not sure how big those art prints or anything like that. The ones that they charge you for with the special edition sets are $50 a piece, but I believe they come framed. I can't tell if these are the type of thing Games Workshop wants to charge you $50 for, or if these are the type of things that they just put in between the models inside your box sets so everything doesn't break. But if this comes out at like $100 or something like that, around that $100 mark, I think it's going to sell extremely well, be super popular and everything like that. But honestly, if they try to charge us for those art prints as well, I'll just wait and get him when he comes out individually. I do actually need another squad of Blade Guards, so this is a pretty good setup for me. But I'm definitely not going to pay for those art prints. I mean, they're cool and everything. I like them. The stoic Lion el Jonson pose looking straight up is cool and everything, but like the battle with Angron and Lionel is much cooler. But honestly, I have no interest in paying for them. So we'll have to see how they come out. I do think the model is awesome. It makes sense to do something like this because they just did the Vashtor box with Azrael. So it doesn't make a ton of sense to do like another big Dark Angels theme box. So I get where they're coming from, just kind of doing like a little smaller set right here. I just hope they don't get crazy with the pricing. It really sketches me out that the art prints are included in there because I hope they're not trying to just get regular people to pay for those. I can't speak for everyone, but I'm not really interested in those. So let's jump over here really quick, and I want to take a look at the book as well for those diehard fans. Now a quick message from today's sponsor. CMO Games has been selling Games Workshop products online for over 20 years. They carry the full line of Games Workshop products, including Warhammer 40,000, Age of Sigmar, Necromunda, Blood Bowl, paint tools, and more. Almost all Games Workshop products are priced at 15% off MSRP. CMO Games takes pre-orders for most Games Workshop products released at their earliest date possible. 12:01 a.m. on Saturday, they go live. Most of these pre-order products are also priced at 15% off MSRP. CMO Games offer free shipping in the US 48 with an order of $50 or more. Their customer service is top-notch, and they ship most orders within 24 hours. Visit CMOGames.com using the affiliate link in the description and let them know that you heard about CMO Games from Warhammer Man. Now, back to the video. The hunt is on in the Lion, Son of the Forest. The Primarch of the Dark Angels made his first appearance in 10,000 years at Adepticon, awoken in the nightmare known as the Imperial Nihilus, where humanity is beset on all sides by darkness and chaos is on the rise. Even the mighty Lion el Jonson could not hope to prevail on his own in such a hostile environment. Luckily, he has allies to help him as he hunts down from the forces of chaos in Lion, Son of the Forest, the explosive new novel by Mike Brooks. So a very cool piece of art right here on the front. We see the lion trudging through the forest. Very, very cool. Alone in Imperium Nihilus, without the Emperor, the Imperium, or his sons, the lion faces a terrible challenge. He meets a formidable chaos warband led by one of his traitorous sons and must call upon every ally he can. He'll even need to rally his fallen knights who have been hunted across the galaxy as they awaited their day with a father would return. This is your first chance to read about the lion's exploits in the 41st millennia, and to find out exactly what the Primarch of the Dark Angels has been up to since the end of the Horus Heresy, not just sleeping, it would seem. And here we see the cover of the book. Very, very nice looking cover right here. Super cool. All that gold inlay and Dark Angels colors and symbols. Very, very cool. The Lion, Son of the Forest will be released alongside this exquisite new miniature, available in a special edition fit for the Knight of the Nihilus himself. Limited to just 2,000 individual numbered copies, each signed by the author Mike Brooks. This edition has a sumptuous cloth cover, detailed screen print art, dark green page edges, and a red ribbon page marker. And here we see a couple of excerpts from it. It is cool that it has like the green edges. The cloth cover looks nice as well. Signed by Mike Brooks. I failed my father. I fear I also failed my brothers. I do not wish to fail my sons. Very cool. You'll also be able to buy this book in hardback, ebook, and audiobook format, which will be available simultaneously with the release of this special edition. So it doesn't say specifically when the Lion is coming out or when the Lion the book is coming out, but we are going to get a special edition and hardback as well. And we know that special edition is limited to 2,000 copies, and obviously a Primarch coming back is a big deal. So if you are after this, if you are interested in this, I would not mess around. I would be ready to pick them up, because once again, 2,000 copies of this is going to sell out extremely fast, just like what we saw happen with the Engram book and many of the other super popular ones. Whenever there's a Primarch involved, the demand goes through the roof, because obviously Primarchs are super cool. So that being said, make sure that if you are interested in this, that you are prepared. Obviously, we'll have an update when those are available with the official pricing and all that good stuff. Special thanks to CMO Games for sponsoring the video. I'm definitely super hyped for all of the Lion stuff, the Return of the Dark Angels. Many of you know that my first painted army ever was about 30 years ago, and it was in fact the Dark Angels. So I've been waiting for a reason. I've been waiting for the exact moment for them to return to the tabletop. And if there ever was a moment, honestly, I have to say this is it. I am super excited to be picking up everything Lion and getting a little love for the Dark Angels. Let me know what you're excited about as well. That's it for today. Warhammer Man Studios. I'm Warhammer Man, and rawr, I'm out of here.